So, this is No Man's Sky, the expedition with the Corvettes. So, this is the size of a Corvette compared to a normal ship, although not not all examples of them. Uh, Case in point, go back here to the teleporters. There's this one. Because in the course of just doing the expedition, this is my Corvette. Yeah, see, it has the icon of it, my starship. So there's that little one over there. They must be pretty new to the expedition. I have just a little bit of the expedition left. I have completed phase 1, 2, 3. I need to engage my emergency warp unit to get phase 4 done. And I need to completely explore derelict freighter to get phase 5 done. And then I'm done with the entire expedition. And I get the Mecha Mouse companion egg, which looks nothing like a mouse. So, this is 9. And if I go into camera mode, oops, not that. You can see it's very sizable. There's me way down there. This thing is very sizable compared to a normal ship. If I go inside of it, I've done quite a bit of adjusting to it, but because this is on the expedition, I don't have all my normal building stuff. You can build components inside of one of these that you know from other things. This is like your base construction stuff. You can do that inside of these, but because it's not on my primary save outside of the expedition, I don't have all those construction materials available. I have things like a little window to look out over this. I am going to build another window. I think it's on this wall. Yeah, I can put a window into that wall. I could put one here, but what's the point? There's nothing but machinery on the other side of that. You have nutrient processors. The things that you install into the different habitation modules change the appearance. Like this is a nutrient processor this is the Thunderbird class walkway. Whereas if I go up here, this is the Ambassador class walkway. Here is the mission radar. I prefer the mission radar appearance in the Ambassador class over the other two. Feel free to look at your own. I put 2 of them in just for symmetry's sake. I also like the look of these, the growth beds in the Ambassador class the most. So I have a number of them going here. Little windows for passengers to look out the back. Little windows for passengers to look out the front, kind of, and out to the side. I could replace this with more of these. I'm going to put more of these here, but in order to do that, I need more silver. Because I'm not on my main save, where I have thousands of silver. This is my main character, but on the expedition you don't get to carry over any of your normal supplies. This up here is a Titan class habitat. So this is a refiner unit. This is an unusable med station. I believe I had another nutrient refiner, I think right here. But in the process of modifying my ship, it kind of ate some parts. It's a little buggy that way. These are more Ambassador hab modules, and the storage containers, I like to look in the Ambassador hab modules the most. Because if I were to try putting a storage container in here, it looks it looks like a weird thing. So I have storage modules in these locations. I apparently lost some because cargo racks. It's allowing me to build all of the cargo racks, but I have them already installed. That's curious. Haven't had that happen before. If I go all the way to the back here, I also have these little windows looking out to the side, so you can look in through that, out to the sides and back. So this is significantly larger than a normal ship. And if I had access to a primary save somewhere in one of these menus, I'd have the little local teleport thing, so I wouldn't have to use these janky stairs. I could literally have a teleporter just set up right here that teleports down to the cargo bay and so on. And then, little side note, you can rename your ship and see what it looks like. These little center point windows don't look correct in the preview. I don't know why. But you can rename your ship and it doesn't change this. That's the original name of the ship when I first got it, that Mashir of the Gek, and I cannot get that to change. If I go in to the inside view of the ship, it shows the updated name on the instrument panel, but it doesn't show it when you're trying to sit cockpit of the ship. And then because of the expedition, I do have the unique starship trail, which is this one, which you get through the expedition. They've added a new 4-panel thing to space stations. If you can't fly into the space station, it's because there are Corvettes on every landing platform. You'd want to go to Options, Network, Disable Multiplayer. That'll allow you to land on the space station, and then you can re-enable multiplayer once you've landed. But if you can't land in the expedition, it's because the entire space station is full of people. This is where I want to get back to my main save as soon as possible and install a teleporter here so I can just go back down to the bay instead of going here and then running back this way, and going down this one, and running back this way, which, by the way, you can shut your hatch. Usually these things are buggy, sometimes they don't work. And then if you are like levitating over a planet or docked to a freighter, this is your teleport to surface or teleport to freighter button. So again, gigantic ships, and multiple people can play on them. Each one of these 4 pads has a teleporter to it, and that pad, the teleporter will take you to the pad, whether there's somebody there or not. That's how you construct your Corvette, and this is where you get your modules. I don't know how these got in here. These are actually in my Corvette inventory, and I can't pull them out, but I can deposit Corvette pieces in here. And then you can access the pieces in your module storage when you're crafting. So whenever you go harvesting more Corvette parts, put them in here, and you can use them for crafting at any space station, since you have to use that panel to do the crafting. And well, there was something else that I came in right. There's one other thing. I have this jetpack trail, which is something from a different expedition, but I believe jetpack trail. So I'm on 15, which is the plasma trail. There's the fusion trail, Inksane trail, and I think Vigilant is the one that just unlocked for the expedition. And so I don't like the wet noise. It's weird. I am a fan of the fusion trail, but I like the plasma trail the most. I also have Scorching. I think you buy this one, and it's like a slightly defective backpack. This is from one of the expeditions, I believe. Just regular colored ones that you can get from things. This, I think, is also one that you can purchase for like Quicksilver, and then this is just the standard trail. So this one is like defective version of that. But yeah, my favorite is the plasma. And all that said, this is what I have achieved. Notice the buggy windows in the back that aren't showing up at a distance. There's still a little bit of work to be done. When they first released it, before they released the actual expedition, this didn't work. You couldn't put pieces into it. Like, you'd have them in here, and they'd all be grayed out like these, and you couldn't pick them up like these. You cannot pick them up. And you couldn't put them over here like these. You can't pick them up. You can't hit X to fast transfer. You couldn't do that with anything on either side. So when they first launched Corvettes, this was broken. When they released the Expedition, this was partially fixed because this is a problem that we have. They still have some buggy stuff. This ship would be more fancy than it is, except that there are alignment issues between this side and the other side. I can put an extra engine on this side where I have that bump out. I could put another engine there on this side, but I can't put it there on the other side. And I was able to put in a window at the front over here, that window. I was able to put that window in on this side only because I removed the extra engine that was one space forward on this side, pushing the one on that side forward. If you do things like move this engine, it will delete this window and not give you the components back. That's how I lost some of my storage units. That's how I lost some of my growth things, whatever they're called. These things. I lost some of these because of constructing stuff on the outside of the vessel, and constructing on the outside of the vessel destroyed the components on the inside wall, and you don't get any resources back when that kind of thing is happening. So do all of these interior design things. Make those interior design choices after you've completed your exterior hull, or make sure you come through and, like, this one here is empty, but you open up your building module with the Z key, you hit C to edit parts, and then you hit X to delete it because there's nothing in here. If you had stuff in there, this one doesn't have any. Oop. But if you had stuff in there like these, you can target them directly and you can delete them, which will give you the parts back for them. I've lost a number of these because of modules deleting themselves. There were plants in this one and this one, and then when I snapped this habitat module on, it destroyed the one in this spot and the plants that were in it. So you want to be careful when you're redesigning your ship. You also have to edit the ship you're using, because whenever you go into this module, this editor here, everything that you have in this ship is considered in use. Every one of these parts is in use. So, leave the workshop. If I were to choose to, they don't actually have an option on here, maybe because I'm in the expedition. Outside of the expedition, I have a choice in here to create a new Corvette, and the expedition is limiting you to the Corvette that you are flying in. So I think because of that limitation, I'm not able to create a new Corvette. If you do try to create a new Corvette, you don't have access to any of these pieces because they're already in use. So you would have to have all the pieces that you want in here in order to craft a new Corvette, which means you have to edit this Corvette if you're planning on using these pieces. Because I've been editing this Corvette through the whole expedition, that's why adding and replacing habitat modules has destroyed the components within. Learn from my mistakes. Take out your interior modules before you modify the frame of your vessel. Also, there is a 100 parts limit to a Corvette. To my understanding, they're working on a fix for the current issue, which is that if you go in here and you have enough pieces in there, I may have removed enough of the interior pieces that doesn't show up. When you're at like 81 or 85 parts here, caution, near complexity limit 96 of 100. You see that on the right side of the screen. That doesn't show up until you're around 81 to 86 pieces. And the interior components are not supposed to count towards that limit, but right now they do. So you can have up to 100 hull components for your ship. And down the line, they're going to release an update or patch, and it's going to get rid of that bug where the interior components count. But until then, if you design the outside of your ship partially, and then you start adding stuff to the inside, you'll hit that 100 component limit soon. It's problematic. So like most other things, you want to hop in your ship, hop out of your ship. That gives you a restore point, and that allows you to save and exit the game, which is what I'm going to do because it's time for bed. Hope this helped. Hope you like the kind of possibilities that you have in the Corvettes, and I will see you in another video.